That's right, I got myself a Leica camera. I'm Nicholas Clayton Lee, let's get into it. So the camera I got was the Leica Q2. I know it's not the Q3 or the new one, the Q343, and I do want to get that one day, but for now it's the Leica Q2, and I gotta say, I've learned to love this camera. This is my first full frame camera, and I got it at a really good deal because the SD card door is broken, and I actually tried contacting Leica and trying to find out where I can actually fix this, and they said that I actually have to send it into them because they don't have the part. And I actually went on Reddit and checked online, and a lot of people said that it's actually a lot of trouble trying to send cameras into Leica. They said that they've sent it in for like half a year and they still haven't heard anything back before. So I don't really want to experience that. Another reason why I bought this is because I know that Leica cameras, their prices don't really depreciate all that much. So it's actually worth it for me to keep this for now. And eventually when I want to sell it, I think I can still sell it at the same price or a bit higher even. Another thing is, this is my first full frame camera, and it's actually my first camera that is not a Fuji. So I was always interested in learning the Leica system because I do want to get into it one day. I want to know what the big fuss is about. And I gotta say, at first, didn't really see the big deal until I actually started using it more. And nowadays, I've actually been taking this out most of the time. And having a full frame 47 megapixel camera, honestly, this is really good. I don't even use my X-H2 that much anymore because this pretty much covers what I need. And I had to learn to adapt to using the 28mm because it is a real 28mm. Actually, like I went on forums, they were saying that there's actually like a 24mm, but it's a very wide angle, but it's not to a point where it's so wide where it's like a 10mm or 15mm. So it's taking me a while to get a hold of it. It's really nice that you have to get a lot of the environment, and you can use it as a portrait lens as well, and you still get a lot of environment. But even as a portrait lens, it's actually really good. It's really good up close as well. So I'm really enjoying this, and I'm learning another style of how to shoot street photography. It's been an experience, I gotta say. At first, there are some things I obviously didn't like about it. I was talking to a friend who said that you should use range focusing, and I was trying to practice on that, but for me, it didn't really work for some reason. I don't know why. Like, if I'm 6 feet away and I can tell what 6 feet away is because I'm 5'10" and I just imagine myself lying down on the ground and just a bit further. And he said that if you use range focusing, it's a lot faster, and I kept trying and it doesn't seem to work. So right now I'm still using autofocus. Every now and then when I need to, I do manual focus, but the autofocus system on this is not that good. I know that the Q3 is really good, but this one is not that good. But for now, honestly, I can still adapt to it because I can just take my time. I slow down a lot when I take photos, and I don't take as much as I even used to. And honestly, even back then, I wasn't taking that much. And I realized that after using this camera, the panning shots on this is actually a lot easier to do than on Fuji cameras. And I don't even shoot a lot to it. I tend to just shoot 1 or 2 photos and they tend to be in focus. So in 2024, I still think that this is a great camera to use. It's 47 megapixels, like I said, and that's more than enough. And I even tried printing a photo out, and this is how it turned out. This has become one of my favorite photos. I love the dog. I don't even take photos of dogs that often, but I saw this dog in a car and it seemed so sad. But I love this photo, and yeah, this is probably one of the best photos I think I've taken with the Leica camera, at least for now. And even if you're looking closer, it's still very sharp, and I've actually cropped this a bit too. Not a whole lot, just a bit. I think this is right now at like 30 megapixel now. I think the photo turned out pretty well, and it's a pretty big photo too. This is like around 13 by 19, and I'm planning on framing it maybe like right here. So one of the things that I realized using this camera is I don't know why, but it's making me want to take a lot of black and white photos. As you guys can see, I just love taking black and white photos on this. It's making me take that. I think I got spoiled by using Fuji colors that even Leica colors to me aren't as nice, I guess. But I don't know why. It's just, to me, I love taking black and white photos on this. I love the highlight as well as the shadows on this. And I love how contrasty it is because I love contrast photos. I don't know, just holding this in my hand, it's like a tank. It's hard, and you know that it's very well built, that it makes me want to take black and white photos. I don't know if this has happened to others, but I think it's making me do that. I also love the lens flare that I usually get on this camera, but I just recently wanted to try out something different, so I put on the Polar Pro Everyday filter with this lens hood. I do adjust it, but I unscrew it every now and then just to adjust it depending on what I want to shoot. If I want to shoot a lot more car stuff, I tend to take it off, but it does look a bit weird how it sticks out, so I don't know. It just makes me worry a bit more that it'll scratch even the filter, because this is not a cheap filter. Also, the box that this came in, it's so nice, it's so prestigious compared to Fuji cameras. Like, look at this. I know that the Leica Q343 doesn't come in such a nice box anymore, but this is so cool. Like, it comes in a nice box right here, and then put this down. These are magnetized, and then you can pull it out. It's so nice. So some negatives about this is that there is no flip screen now, and there were times where I'm actually sitting on the floor just trying to get a shot. I think I probably have to like lay down on the floor sometimes just to get a shot, and it's really hard and really annoying that I can't see the shot, so I do have to get really low exactly where my face is, and even sometimes I'm just like kind of blind shooting, and I hate that. Whereas at least with the Fuji X100VI, I can still flip it up. But I do notice that because I can't flip the screen up now, I do try to shoot a lot more vertical, which I tend to like as well. And because it's so wide, I tend to try to get a lot of buildings now, which is pretty nice, and I think it's another way and technique of shooting, which I haven't shot this style in a long time. Other things that are kind of annoying is the autofocus. Like I mentioned before, it's not as good, but I'm still having a lot less trouble than I thought I'd be, at least compared to the first day. Honestly though, because the autofocus is bad, I tend to find myself shooting at f5.6 and up, which is what a lot of people do when they shoot range focusing. But I realize that that's why I tend to shoot a lot now, and I don't really go at f1.7 unless it's at night and I really know, oh, that person is gonna be in focus, or else I won't really do it. So there were obviously some learning curve. I wasn't used to adjusting the ISO and the shutter speed using these two buttons, and after a while I got kind of used to it. It didn't take long. The grip on this really sucks. Also, because the SD card door is broken, the guy also had a leather case from Leica itself, and it's really nice. And after adding this on, you don't even notice the SD card door being broken. But I find this design kind of dumb, because every time I come home, I have to take this out, and then take out the battery, and then take out the SD card door. It's kind of dumb on Leica's part. I find that, why don't they have like a hole so you can actually take that out instead and just leave the case on all the time? That's something that I find that kind of dumb. But other than that, I think it's pretty good. You can't really attach these PGY Tech clips on without one of these little things that I took from my Fuji X-T4, because I just still love using Peak Design clips. Other than those, I don't really have much to complain. It is my first Leica, and I do love the photos that come out of it. The attention that you get on a Leica is a bit different than what you do get from Fuji cameras, because it's a prestige thing. But at the same time, I do see why the Leicas are so expensive, because of the build itself. It's really nice and high quality, and it's also because it has a name, I think. Fuji cameras aren't as popular, I understand, and it's a prestige thing at the end of the day. But the qualities of this photo is just amazing. Originally, I got this camera The idea of it was, oh, I can get it and then I'll use it, do a review, and then I'll sell it. But right now I think I'm selling the Fuji cameras instead, just so I can keep this so that everything kind of balances out. I'm actually having a lot of fun with this. Something else about owning a Leica that isn't that good is because for me it's always in the back of my mind where if I take this out at night, somebody might actually try to steal it. I know that's given for a lot of cameras, but it's a Leica. If somebody steals it, it's quite expensive. So that's something else I'm worried about all the time. I'm a bit paranoid. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this quick video about just me talking about a new camera that I've got and that I'll be using on my channel. Thanks, and I'll see you guys next time.